Alright, and we're back, sitting at the gate, again with the Demos. I've got my blasters grouped, so they're all in F1. I've got the Mech Warp Drive F4, the Tech 2 Armor Rep on 5, and then the Faction 1 on 8. That's because I typically toggle between 4 and 5, but I like having the gaps so that I don't hit the wrong one. And the position of everything else really doesn't matter. But let's go ahead and head on in and kill us some Talos. I'm going to remove the sentries from my overview on this tab when we go in because they're driving me nuts. Take my tactical off. Alright. I'm going to activate the gate. Once the activation starts, I'm going to toggle on my reps and hardener. I'm putting a delay between them to make sure that if I do cap out, there is a time gap. When I land, I'm going to head up and turn on my micro warp drive. And they're going to be hitting hard to start. And if you get nervous, General, to show the sentries, you can always toggle your other rep a couple times. It's probably a really good plan to do so. Use my tactical to look at the angle of these sentries. I think my angle is decent between them, but I'm still going to kick it over here. Again, they push hard, so I ran the extra cycle of the rep to bring me up, because, well, it's an expensive ship and I don't want to lose it. The sentries, I think, activate if you're within 15, so I'm well out of them, so we'll toggle back to this. Now that I'm outside of the field, I'm going to take an angle towards them. You never want to approach directly because you will die. So also make sure you don't double click on them directly. Turn on the tactical and you can see your vector as well. That's a useful tool to see what you're doing. As I get closer and closer, I keep toggling in sharper. Make sure none of the sentries are red. Yep, we're good. Alright, now that I'm at 35, I'm going to go ahead and orbit at 3K. And I'm going to toggle off my micro warp drive and toggle on my secondary repper. Because of the cap stable of the fitting, it will keep me up. Lock him up. And once it's locked up, we're going to use F1 because we're within a good range. Launching my drones, I use hotkeys and have them start attacking. The optimal range is 3, fall off is 8K, so you want to make sure you are close. You can easily micro warp drive past the Talos, and then you won't be hitting anything, and it can cause more damage to you, so pay attention to your range. Now that he's almost dead, I'm just going to start flying closer to him so I can loot his wreck as he dies. And return my drones right away so that the other bastards don't kill them and add extra cost to the mission. Junk in this one, so that's okay. Now we're going to go around the field off to this side. Start my micro warp drive up again. I've still got 68 ammo, so I use 12 rounds to kill that first Talos. Now that I'm going at speed, I'll turn off my secondary rep, and that'll let my cap stay stable. Make sure my vector on the sentries stay plenty far out, because you don't want to activate them and have more DPS on you than you need. Alright, getting close to the edge. Head towards that guy. Again, don't go directly to him or that'll cause bad things. The micro warp drive and this rep, again, this rep stays on the entire time. That's the biggest factor for making this fit comfortable. But I do hit 50%, so let's go ahead and toggle one extra cycle here to make sure that if they get a couple wrecking shots, I don't cry. Because, again, you saw it drop down. But with the way the fit is, you have plenty of extra padding. One more cycle. Let's start heading closer to him now. Never head straight again. Just gotta reiterate it because I've double clicked and blown up in other ships before. I haven't lost this one yet, since I spent the money to make it fancy. Alright, 35, we'll hit orbit at 3. We'll go one more cycle on the micro warp drive. Probably could have turned it off at the previous cycle, but we might overshoot. We'll see. Lock him up. Because when you toggle off the micro warp drive, you have quite a bit of inertia. We're still in a decent range, so we'll go ahead and start shooting. Launch our drones and stick them on the bad boy. And again, this is a really high DPS fit, and it's made to make this mission fast. It's not as safe. Oh, they're looking at my drone, so I'm going to go ahead and call them back because I don't want to lose any. And he's almost dead anyway, so we're just going to change our vector to loot. Make sure you don't hit open on the wreck until you're within range that you can. That way you don't approach and stop. Oh, there's a nice one. Tracking computer for 100,000 or million. I'll take that. And now we are gonna go kind of through a vector on the field. As long as you've got a good angle between... Turn off. I forget things a lot as I try to do too much. Alright. Go back to this tab and watch our distances to make sure we don't get too close. But by the time you get to the last Talos, you have a lot less to worry about. It's when you have all three that you have stress. I honestly don't know how much damage these turrets do, because I've always avoided them. But it's been warned in videos that I watched learning, and so I just want to make sure that people keep up with it. And we're getting really close to this one. 14... but it did not activate. Okay. That's about as close as you're going to get without making them mad. And again, final Talos, he doesn't do as much damage, so your extra rep you probably won't need at this point. Now that we're outside of the field, we're going to go back to him. And again, since it's only one, I'm going to orbit a little earlier. My micro warp drive cycle, I want one more cycle. And then we'll go ahead and toggle it off here because we're within the 35. Lock him up. 57 after the second one. And then start shooting, launch our drones, and stick them on him. And that's about all there is to it. It's fast. It's a little stressful at the beginning. You have to watch your armor. I was distracted as I was making this video, so it dropped lower than I normally do it. But with this particular fit, there's enough cap that you can keep toggling your other one. He's looking at my drone, so I'm just going to hit approach. It's really unlikely for them to hit drones when it's on them. So you don't have to worry about the last guy as much. And does he have any gift for me as well? No, not really. He's got a skin, but everything's really cheap in here. But anyways, that concludes the thing. Make sure to scoop your drones at the end so you don't lose them. And yeah, I hope you all enjoy it when this gets posted.